We did, like I said, we did movie meetups for the last 4 nights in a row, starting on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then culminating last night and Sunday. And at every one of those movie meetups, there were pretty big crowds for other movies. Like we did the movie meetups, we did what we do. We did The Thing, then we did 2 nights of The Long Walk, and we did Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which was awesome. But at each one of those screenings, another screen in those theaters, at least one, was playing Demon Slayer, Infinite Castle. And the crowds, like I'm watching them and I was talking, I was like, the crowd seemed to be pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like a $300 million opening kind of Avengers Endgame kind of packed, but it was really good turnout for those. And so I was not surprised at all to open it up and then see that box office Demon Slayer had a, get this, $70 million opening. Not only is it now the biggest, what they're calling, at least in the article from Variety, they're calling it the biggest anime, animated opening in history. I think $31 million was the previous one. And that was for a Pokemon movie that had like a $31 million. And that was the record. This thing just more than doubled that with a $70 million opening. And not only is it great for anime, that's not bad for a kid. Not only was that great for anime, it's the biggest opening weekend any Sony film, because remember, Sony's the distributor behind this. It's the biggest opening weekend that any Sony film has had in 2 years.
Wow.
In 2 years.
That's huge.
The biggest opening they've had. Like, think about that. Sony is a major studio. Now, granted, they haven't had the best 2 years, but in the last, like for a major studio to have this be the biggest opening in the last 2 years, that is huge. Now, look, I'm not going to be disingenuous. I'm not personally interested in the film. This movie is not for me, but that's totally fine. It was great being at the movie meetups and then seeing crowds of people coming out of another film, and they clearly had a good time. And as a movie fan, that's all I want. I want people to go to movies and have fun, whether it's or not it's a movie that I'm into. That's irrelevant. They went in, they had a good time, and they enjoyed great success. Rob, it was great for the theaters. The theaters right now loved having a movie that was opening to $70 million. And I think this is going to open, again, it's not, I don't want anybody to think I'm biased that I want to see it. No, these aren't even movies that I like. But I think this opens the door, Rob, but now, just because this work doesn't mean anything that's an anime is instantly going to make $50 million opening weekend. We already know that's not true. But I do think it opens the door for others like this to maybe happen again. And I think this is great for Sony. I think this is great for their fans. This is obviously great for the movie theaters. So congratulations to them. This is huge. Rob, what do you make of this result they had?
It's massive. And remember, for Sony, this is an acquisition. They didn't make this movie. They acquired it to release it domestically, and what a win. And, I think it also, the real thing that it signifies to me is, I always talk about pop culture needs to belong to the generation that's absorbing it or consuming it. That's how pop culture is driven. And, we try and, let's watch Back to the Future again. Back to the Future belonged to 1985. It's 40 years old. Yeah, now it belongs to all of us. But I'm curious. I love seeing this happen because, somebody went to the movies. I saw, before we met you in Vegas, we were sitting outside, or we were sitting in this restaurant watching people walk right in front of the window. There was so many people dressed up in K-pop, in Demon Slayer cosplay, going to the theater, young people, old people,
and
parents,
shirts and all that kind of
all
stuff.
All kinds of things. And there was a huge excitement, and people were really excited. I'm sure people had seen it multiple times already. And I love the fact that this is a movie for audiences of today, and they're consuming a foreign film, which is really exciting. I find this really interesting and fascinating and hopeful and exciting, because I love seeing that people have something that they can call their own. They're not watching. I mean, look, Jurassic Park Refund is a franchise that started in 1993.
Yeah.
I mean, this.
But to be fair, is still making a lot of money.
Oh, it's still
to be fair, it's still making a lot of money.
It is, but it doesn't belong to the current generation. They're inheriting this. And whereas the Demon Slayer franchise has just been on an upward trajectory. And I loved seeing the excitement around this. And plus, I love the fact that it's a franchise that comes to us from a foreign country that has a whole different sensibility than we have here in America or that they have in Europe. And it means that, you know, in terms of the diversity of the kinds of entertainment people are watching, I love the fact that it's coming from a different place in the world than here.
Well, and listen, right now, well, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters is no longer number one on streaming, but basically speaking, right now, the biggest movie on streaming, you know, talking around about things, not specifically, but is K-pop Demon Hunters. And right now, the biggest movie as of today, like as of at least for this weekend, the number one movie in theaters is Demon Slayer. This is a big moment for that, because I don't think I don't see anybody talking about this. I see everybody talking about how wonderfully successful Demon Slayer was, but think about this: like the biggest thing on Netflix practically right now is K-pop Demon Hunter, and right now the biggest thing in the theaters right now is Demon Slayer, and I think that is a significant milestone that people should not be overlooking. And you know, Sony, the people in the boardrooms at Sony are like, okay, what's next, and sort of thing. And now and I guarantee you, everybody else is looking at this now too. Warner Brothers is looking at this. Disney is looking at this. Like, it's not an insignificant thing. And again, it's not the genre type of thing that I've enjoyed all that much, but that's fine. This type of success should be celebrated. It should be put up on a pedestal and really like commemorated. I think this is wonderful for them. And Rob, I feel really great because, Rob, you know, we've had fans and viewers of our show.
Yeah.
For years, a lot of them for years and years and years and years have often written in and say, you know, why don't we get more anime stuff in our theatrical presentations? Why don't we get more of this? And I said, well, you know, right now it's just this, North America is not the audience for it. But that's clearly changing. And I can't help but be really excited and thrilled for fans who have wanted something like this, who have waited for something like this, for this type of success to come along for them. And I just think it's great for everybody.
Totally.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards, and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? This is a huge, like, record-shattering result for Demon Slayer. A lot of people, if you were at the movie theaters this weekend seeing something else, you probably saw a lot of people going into it too. Whatever you take away from this, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.